Hi, welcome to Gadgets 360. Today we're going to be unboxing ASUS's brand new flagship smartphone, the 6Z. Now, as you might be aware, this phone was going to be called the Zenfone 6 as it is all around the world. But because of a recent trademark dispute over the word Zen, ASUS cannot call it that in India anymore. At the request of the company, we've covered up the words on the packaging that they cannot use anymore. But the retail box that you see will be different and will have the new ASUS 6Z naming. So with that said, let's get started. But before we do, please do remember to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to be notified of all our new videos. So here we have the box that ASUS sent us, but the one that you get at retail might look a little different and have a different name printed on it. Let's lift off the lid. And what we see right on top is a flip camera with a little logo of its own. And that, of course, is the major feature of this phone. We'll open out this paper envelope. And what we see, first of all, of course, is the SIM eject pin. And then we have a clear plastic case, which is pretty interesting because, of course, it has this enormous cutout for the flip cameras. We'll put that aside. And then we have the phone itself. So it's wrapped up in plastic, as you can see, with a couple of the important specifications listed on it. Latest flagship Qualcomm Snapdragon 855, 6.4-inch all-screen nano-edge display with Corning Gorilla Glass 6, and the flip cameras. Front and rear will have the same camera. It's a 48-megapixel Sony IMX586, which is increasingly common on flagship-grade phones today, and a 13-megapixel ultra-wide secondary camera. Let's take it out of its plastic. Here we can see the phone itself. There's really nothing on the front other than the screen, not even a notch, no front cameras. Around the back is the dual camera flip-up module, which you can see over here. The fingerprint sensor and some text and the ASUS logo in bright blue. On this side, we have the power button with a blue ring, the volume buttons, and another quick access button with a little texture for easy identification. On this side, we have the tray, which we'll look at in a moment. Nothing on the top, obviously, because the cameras have to flip up. And on the bottom, a 3.5mm audio socket, USB Type-C port, and a speaker grill. So let's turn this on. And as it boots up, we're going to take a look at the rest of the box contents. So beneath this flap, what we can see is the USB Type-C cable, a rather large charger, which is rated at 5 volts 2 amps or 9 volts 2 amps for 18 watts of output. We have a couple of extra rubber ear tips in different sizes for the headset. Here's the headset itself with a pair of ear tips already attached and a standard 3.5mm audio connector, which a lot of people will appreciate. And here we have the international adapter with Indian pins for the charger itself, and that just should slide on like that. So that's it for the box contents. So here we have the phone itself, and let's quickly go through the setup. We can see a couple of Indian language options. Go through that. And here we have it, the ASUS 6Z. The UI looks very much like stock Android. We can see a couple of unusual preloaded apps, but in all other respects, a fairly simple and easy to understand UI. Now we can get an idea of the screen itself. There's a little bit of a chin, but narrow borders around otherwise. What we have here is a 6.4-inch Full HD Plus IPS display with a 19.5:9 aspect ratio and a 100% claimed DCI-P3 color space reproduction. ASUS also says that this phone has a 92% screen-to-body ratio. Of course, on the inside we have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 processor. This phone will have up to 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage. And there's a 5000 mAh battery as well as support for Quick Charge 4. Other interesting features are stereo speakers on the top and the bottom. There's Corning Gorilla Glass 6 on the front, and this phone runs Android 9 Pie. So looking at the tray on the side, we can see that there's space for 2 nano SIMs and a micro SD card. But of course, what everybody is most interested in is the dual camera flip feature on this phone. So thanks to this mechanism, you get the benefits of the 48 megapixel primary camera and the 13 megapixel ultra-wide secondary camera on the back as well as the front of this phone, which means that there is no separate front-facing camera. If you want to know how well that works out for regular photography and selfies, stay tuned to Gadgets 360 for our full review coming up very soon. So there we have it, the brand new ASUS 6Z with its flip-up cameras. Thanks for watching, and for all things tech, do remember to visit us at gadgets360.com.